Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's session, and we have Shekar back with us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Miraji. Thank you, Jaydev.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Welcome.
yeah. Sir, the latest news of the rescue of all the workers from the tunnel in Uttarakhand has reinfused, people's belief in Modi ji's leadership and his concern for the common man. In fact, the Australian tunnel expert Arnold Dix said India has the best engineers, army, and federal authority. International tunneling expert lavished praises after Uttarakhand rescue and offers prayers at the temple. He said, "We worked as a wonderful team. And when I say a wonderful team, the best engineers here in India, the army, the engineers, the best I've worked with by all the agencies, the federal authority, the state, all the people. It was just a joy. A joy to be a part of the successful mission," is what he said. On being asked about the kind of challenges he faced, he said, "I think it would be better to say what kind of challenges didn't we face? And that we didn't face was a combined sense of purpose to save the 41 people. That's the challenge we didn't face. We don't have that in many places. Everyone knew we were bringing those men home." So, Shekharji, see, this is more like a miracle. I mean, getting all these people in one piece, outside the tunnel, and that too, all of them looking fresh, as if nothing has happened to them. So that's why it's very surprising. And of course, the bonus was that Prime Minister spoke to each one of them after they came out. So do tell us about this, Shekharji.
Indeed, Miraji and Jairevji, this is a fantastic thing that has happened. Every day you are subjected to so much of negative news, so much of toxicity on the social media. You wonder, who is going to recognize what is good in us?
Yes.
Yes, we must know what is bad in us. We must know what is wrong with our system. But at the same time, when things happen like this,
Yeah.
in a country known for red tape,
Yeah.
you saw so many government departments coming together.
Yes.
Not less than 27 departments were involved. 2,000 workers on the ground involved.
Yes.
I am including everybody. And the kind of coordination
Yes.
and the kind of monitoring and
Mm.
everybody wanting to do something. And
Yeah.
overall, the rise of faith,
Yes.
faith in our abilities, faith in the divine grace. I mean,
Yes.
this is all what makes India.
Yeah.
And often we are in that mood of what I would say appearing to be liberal or modern, trying to be in a state of denial
Yes.
that this it's not scientific to believe in anything outside yourself or in a higher
Mm.
power.
Mm.
And there's all this nonsense that is being said about Sanatan Dharma. But
Yes.
I would say it is the very spirit of Sanatan Dharma. It
Yes.
is the very spirit of invoking the highest power in us
Yes.
to do a larger good that is in action.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you have seen, if you are talking of workers, who we thought that's why the ambulance had gone in.
Yes.
One ambulance for each of them.
Yes.
And we thought they would move out in stretcher, but they walked out.
Yes.
And the fact that
Yeah.
those 17 days, right
Mm.
from the Deepavali
Yes.
and to the grand Deepavali that was held last evening, you
Yes.
can imagine what they have undergone.
Yeah.
And look at every aspect that was covered. What
Yes.
what has really uh, impressed me, I must say, is look, there was somebody out thinking that first we have to get some kind of a communication established with people inside and their
Yes.
family outside.
Yeah.
Some kind of a video link was established.
Mm.
And BSNL, mind you, you and I have a terrible experience of BSNL.
Yes.
In fact, many people have surrendered land phones,
Yeah.
whether it is MTNL in Bombay and Delhi or BSNL in other cities.
Yeah.
But that's the very BSNL that established a optic fiber link inside, got
Yes.
a video link established.
Yeah.
And look at the way the Air Force moved
Yes.
huge material to a terrain where it is very difficult to, navigate and land and again take off.
Yes.
The huge transport helicopters were involved.
Yeah.
Even the last today, those helicopters, the Chinook helicopters, have lifted those 41 people to Ames Rishikesh.
Yes.
So you can see that where does all this come?
Yeah.
And one wonders why is it not such a common occurrence that we notice it only when there is a tremendous crisis,
Yes.
which goes to show
Mm.
when it comes to extraordinary challenge,
Yeah.
we can rise as one people, one
Yeah.
nation. And
Yes.
that's what it showed.
Mm.
And one must give credit to the Prime Minister. his office,
Yes.
and to the people who were involved from Ministry of Surface Transport to the Defense.
Yes.
And Prime Minister was monitoring every day. He
Mm.
sent his Prime Minister's his principal secretary PK Mishra, who
Yes.
himself is a disaster management expert.
Okay.
They went there, they saw they were there to monitor it and get feedback. And
Yes.
and one more thing I want to say, Minaji,
Yes.
you would have heard Lieutenant General Hasnain, who is a
Yes.
member of the NDRF.
Mm.
So he said two things. Things I would like to respond. One is, right from his army days, he always answered every telephone call on his
Yeah.
mobile.
Yeah. Mm.
And he said, I took every call because there was somebody calling me up at odd hours from
Yes.
2:30 a.m. to whatnot, just trying to come with ideas how to get these people out.
Mm.
See, first it was horizontal drilling, then it was vertical. Then they realized that these were huge machines fail.
Yes.
Somebody thought that you have to get those rat miners, when rat mining is actually banned in India following
Mm.
accidents in Meghalaya,
Mm.
where the workers, they actually do what the rats do, huge ones do. Just gnaw at earth and then make a burrow your way. Now, with all this energy, there is one other aspect, Miraji, which I would
Yes.
like to, remind all of us. Look, that place is known for because Uttarakhand is called the Dev Bhumi. Every hill, every mountain has has a tradition, as a spiritual story to tell. Now, you see, that place is people have in that area where the tunnel is built. That is from that Silkyara to Barkot. That place is supposed to be the abode of local deity known as uh, Baba Bhoknag. And people were saying that Baba Bhoknag was upset that this tunnel had disturbed the peace in that area. They wanted Baba Bhoknag to be propitiated, and without questioning into belief or anything.
Yeah. Shekharji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Sorry, there was a small problem. Yes. Please continue. You were talking about the tunneling.
Yeah. No, apart from that, there is another dimension to this whole thing.
Yes. Yes.
The element of faith,
Hmm.
which was in display there. Local people believe, Uttarakhand is known as Dev Bhumi. Every hill, every peak, every stone, I would say, has a spiritual dimension. And people think that some deity or some muni or rishi has lived there and has become one with the nature.
Hmm.
This particular place is famous for Baba Bhoknag.
Okay.
And Baba Bhoknag is a nag, means is a serpent deity.
Okay.
And people believe that this very tunneling activity had disturbed the ambience and environment of that area. And therefore, they felt that Baba had to be propitiated. And
Hmm.
after this disaster happened, they felt more.
Okay.
And the administration, as well as the others, immediately set up a makeshift temple outside the tunnel. Then, when it was pointed out that there is a shrine of the Baba at the ready top, which is
Okay.
actually where above the tunnel,
Hmm.
the chief minister, Pushkar Dhami, and this international international expert,
Yeah.
that is Arnold Dix, they
Yes.
both went to the temple, offered
Hmm.
prayers. So, you can see that how people have, realized that if this is the faith of the people, let's go with the faith.
Yes.
Instead of, indulging in the usual cynical talk and
Yeah.
skepticism about what is
Yes.
all this. But that is what I said. Here
Hmm.
is a very important example where
Hmm.
people's faith matters, and it
Yeah.
is a people faith that gives energy,
Yes.
because that gives you a kind of ichha shakti, and
Yes.
that ichha shakti gets converted into kriya shakti,
Yeah.
and that's what you saw.
Yes.
Everybody, no matter what faith, not what caste, everybody getting into this act to pull people out. So I would say this is a great example of where what we can be and what we are actually. It
Yes.
reflects our true potential
Hmm.
when we are, and there were, people, those who are politically opposed to Prime Minister Modi, actually wishing that things didn't work out all right.
Yes.
Otherwise, why would they put out social memes trying to compare it, this will be another occasion of Ponauti. You can imagine, and I mean, God save them, I would
And
say, because
yeah,
you don't understand the sentiments involved. You're
hmm,
waiting for some disaster in order to score political points.
yes, and the
That's
people
very
are all
unfortunate,
so emotional. Yes.
and that's what came out.
Mm,
That we can work together.
yeah.
We can, no matter how many people are involved, we can work together. We can rise to the occasion. And two or three scenes, still come to my mind. The workers who were working at this rat mining to get the people out. What they were saying. See, the temperatures in the night dropped to -3 degrees there. They were saying we are at it because there are only workers of our type inside,
Yeah.
and this is an opportunity that God has given. It is Ishwar ki sankalp that we should be able to help them.
Yeah.
Look at the sentiments.
Yeah. And also, Shekharji, look at the pathetic attempt by Mamta to send 4 people when the people were already being taken out.
That's why somebody said, it was she. Why is she so early?
Yes.
When actually she's quite late. Somewhere when you realize it, because if it was a disaster, you don't want to be part of it.
Yes.
And when you once you saw it's all okay, then and that too what she said, the resident commissioner of Bengal from Kolkata, from Delhi to go there. Probably you'd have reached today. By then, they are already in Rishikesh hospital.
Yes. Yes.
Look at the. What I'm seeing is yes, but these petty thinking and also is a reminder to us.
Yes.
Well, these pettiness will always be there,
Yeah.
but let us not look at the pettiness that we saw. Let's look at the larger side.
Yes.
Take for instance that disaster that happened, rail disaster in Balasore. Unfortunately, so many people were killed because of malfunctioning of the signals. You
Yes.
saw how all the Modi baiters were up in arms.
Mm.
But look at what was happening on the ground there. How the locals came to the rescue,
Yes.
and how the railways ensured everybody, whoever sick was attended to, the dead were identified, and then the line was cleared because it's the most
Yes.
important line, Kolkata Chennai line.
Yes. Absolutely.
It connects east and south.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I would like to ask one question. Is there are a lot of anti-Indian forces at play? So, could there be any chances of causing accidents like sabotage or something anywhere in the country, be it trains or
That kind of inputs keep coming, that there are saboteurs at work because this is an election year, and the whole idea is to see how they can bring a dent to prime minister's popularity.
Yeah.
That's why the eternal vigilance is the price one has to pay,
Yeah.
and which the authorities are already doing. But at the same time, one cannot predict who can strike you where.
Yes.
At the same time, natural disasters,
Mm.
that can also happen, because now the question is being asked: what was the need for this tunnel? Should we be disturbing the ecology in this region? These are good questions.
Mm.
But this particular tunnel, Meena,
Mm.
I would like
Yes.
to remind our viewers.
Mm.
Now, this particular tunnel is very important because this is 4.5-kilometer long tunnel,
Yeah.
and it will connect the Silkyara with a place called Barkot,
Yeah.
thereby cutting short the distance between these two places by 26 kilometers. There is already a
Oh.
road which goes
Okay.
around this hill.
Mm.
But the importance is, if once this is connected, now it's an all-weather road, and it connects you to that part of Uttarakhand, which
Yes.
is very very close to China, and
Mm.
that's called the Harsil sector. Now
Okay.
all these roads that are being developed, including the Char Dham,
Yeah.
are part of the infrastructure development on the border.
Mm.
See, this is not a government that will say what A.K. Anthony said as defense minister. We are not improving infrastructure on the border because let it upsets China. You are developing infrastructure on your side of the border,
Yeah.
and you are worried about they getting upset. That mindset has changed.
Yeah.
Anybody can get upset at anything, but we
Yes.
need to do what must be done to protect our borders. And
Absolutely.
these are the very people keep questioning. You have allowed those people in. What have you done? But our policy now is, why allow the grass to grow and the snake to
Yes.
come?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, then moving on to Netherlands, sir. Recently elected Dutch PN Geert Wilders has called on Muslims who value Quran more than secular laws of the land to leave the country and go to Muslim countries so that they can follow the laws they want. In Italy, the present PM Giorgio Meloni, who has far-right views, is also tough on immigration laws. In UK, Sunela Braverman, considered to be far-right, had to resign. France is also clamping down on mosques. Ireland was burning a few days back after a knife attack on children. Do you think Europe will swing from far left to far right and there will be racial violence, sir?
Well, I think there are two ways of looking at it, Meenaji. Personally, I
Yes,
feel the traditional view, or what is called the left secular liberal view, is this is a result of rise of racism.
yes,
This is a result of ignoring, years of uh, neglect of Muslims in Europe, discrimination against them, racial profiling, and how difficult it is people of particular descent, say those coming from Africa,
yes,
how difficult they find. This is one way of looking at it. And maybe there is truth to it, and maybe there's a lot of truth to it.
yeah,
And EU, European Union, has several laws against, Islamophobia, and for more than 2 decades now. Now, there are countries like Germany, which are considered a country of very moderate age. But even there, what is happening? What is the problem? Well, these, and they are saying this is all a result of, imperialism, colonialism. That's why this is happening. But at the same time, I think there is the other side of it. Why is far right wing politics is emerging in these places? I think the one is what has happened so far of the immigrants who have come in. They have not allowed themselves to be integrated, and the very identity politics that you see in India concerning minority groups, the same identity politics has begun there. So there are parties there also in the name of secularism being dependent on the votes of these people who have come in,
yes,
maybe a decade ago or a generation ago, but refusing to integrate. And that lack of integration is making many people realize in Europe that this multiculturalism has failed.
yeah,
And Tony Blair was the first to say it, Veeraji.
okay,
Even David Cameron repeated it
mm,
when he was prime minister. He said, look, this policy has not worked.
mm.
We try to be as accommodative as possible.
And
But there
yet,
is a huge section of people who are not willing to integrate with the English society.
yeah,
Same thing is happening in France, one
yes,
of the most liberal countries on the European continent, France. I mean, that's one country I would say could be a great model of liberalism. But
yes,
what is happening there? The identity politics, where people are being encouraged or even forced to return to burqa
yes,
and forced to offer prayers in public spaces, and where the numbers are more, there is a rise of violence
yes,
and there is a counter violence,
yeah,
and gradually giving an impression, I think from UK to Netherlands,
yes,
everywhere the feeling among the local population is these immigrants are swamping them
yes.
and trying to force on them a culture which to I mean
It's
from which
alien.
from
Yeah,
which they have they have fled from their country for the very
yes,
reasons.
yes,
And having come here, having enjoyed the hospitality, having bettered their economic self, now they want to do the same thing. Now,
mm,
this is a strong argument. I mean, there may be merits in this argument, demerits in the argument, but the
yeah,
fact is this: there are reasons why this is happening. As I said, the what is the so-called left liberal view, but also this, and there have been so many terror attacks. Right from 2001, there have been so many terror attacks. There are bomb blasts. All this only rise to the fear,
yeah,
because the whole thing is driven by fear, and and that's how you can see where people are realizing they will have to put a stop to immigration. Unchecked immigration can lead to lot of social disheartening.
yeah,
This is exactly the thing we have been talking here. Influx of people coming from Bangladesh,
yes,
people coming from other parts of the country. I mean, not parts of the country. I mean, coming from outside,
yeah, like
belong to, and
Rohingyas.
that is why you have the Citizenship Amendment Act,
Yes,
that people fleeing religious persecution should be given, because the non-Muslims who are fleeing persecution from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, they have no other country to go. But
yes,
such a misunderstanding was made as if it is how to discriminate Muslims in this country
Mm.
or to make them non-citizens in this country. We saw this propaganda,
Yeah.
and what result we had?
Mm.
Now the matter is in the court. Supreme Court
Yes.
has to pronounce a verdict on the legality of the Citizenship Amendment Act. But the point I'm saying is, it requires two hands, for harmony and for friendship. It cannot be expected that one side takes advantage of the situation, comes there, then of course they are facing discrimination. But there are all the more reasons for them to integrate.
Yes.
But there is no integration. In fact, the
Yes.
community leaders are preventing integration.
Yes.
And somewhere deep down, there are myths that get perpetuated that they want to actually, it's a return of the old war between Islam and Christianity in Europe. That Christianity drew Islam away. Now the
Yes.
Islam is back.
Yes.
Now, this is what is actually driving this right wing politics, but it is also grounded on certain reality.
Yes.
But many people thinking they are being liberal, they live in denial. They say, no, 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 this is all because of rise of colonialism, rise of racism. But why is those things happening? Why a liberal country like France, is forced to issue orders that these dresses that particularly identify a community should not be worn in schools?
Yeah.
That schools should have a very uniform pattern of dress. Why are they insisting on that? Because the society is getting divided. And even in Germany, and Germany, people are talking of attacks. See, where the numbers are more, all these arguments of liberalism, they go away, because then it is the
Yeah.
rise of the might is right till the right is might. I mean, this is happening, and this is what exactly many people have been saying in this country also. So, secularism, liberal society, democracy, all these will work so long as the numbers are down.
Yeah.
Once, because that was the show, that was all about Kashmir.
Yes.
What's your Kashmir problem?
Mm.
I mean, people kept on talking on riddles, Kashmiriyat, Jamhuriyat, Insaniyat, so-called Vajpayee formula. But the fundamental fact was that Kashmir became a problem only because of religion.
Yes.
Because the demography was tilted towards a particular religion. That is why people were against people belonging to the religion. They can go on talking of, the Sufis, the land of Sufis. Earlier there was syncretism, there was harmony and all that. But those are all history.
Yes.
If that were so, why was terrorism encouraged there? Why
Mm.
was separatism encouraged there? And why did local population get sucked into it?
Yes.
But it
Mm.
is very fashionable, if you're a liberal, then you should appear to be, pro particular side
Yes.
and not
Yes.
look at facts. But unfortunately, what you may do that, to win encomiums of a particular section, or maybe to win a Booker Prize or something. But the reality will always hit you, and
Strangely,
that's what is exactly happening in Europe.
yeah, strangely, sir, when I was in Iraq, when I was the war was going on between Iran and Iraq, and then later Kuwait, and you'll be surprised that, see, under Saddam Hussein's regime, we were so comfortable. There was no there was no what you call fundamental push to force women to wear burqas. Women were very, very westernized, and the colleges were very, very advanced. So we never felt that we were in a kind of country where you're forced to follow a particular religion. And also the fact that, see, it was the most progressive country in the Middle East. They were moving so fast, and that's why I feel very sad, with what happened to Saddam Hussein in the end. You know.
Yeah, indeed. Probably Saddam Hussein was a kind of a bulwark against these fundamentalist
Yes,
forces.
absolutely.
Though I would also share what the critics see him as a dictator who did not hesitate to use chemical weapons on his own people. I
Yeah.
mean that, but yet there was another aspect. His removal from the scene,
Yes.
resulted in some kind of an imbalance,
Yes.
and finally the Islamists took over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And after that, you have seen what has happened to other minorities. You know what has happened to Kurds,
Yeah.
and it's still happening to them.
Yes.
And other problem, Minaji, which
Yeah.
I think in large parts of Europe,
Yeah.
people are beginning to see. Even you put an end to immigration today,
Yeah.
put a complete full stop. There would people still arrive by boats in most
Yes.
pathetic conditions. They would come away, as stowaways.
Yes.
We have seen how they have traveled in
They're very
tankers.
aggressive. Yeah.
They would come, and
Yeah.
it will be left to the conscience of these countries to take care of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody is telling the people who are sending them, who are allowing them to leave. Why aren't those countries stopping them?
Yeah.
Because this is also seen as some kind of an invasion,
Yes.
and as if there is a right for these people. And again, the argument used in, no, no, we were subjected to colonialism, so this is way of taking. And one more thing, I think people in Europe have begun to realize, even if
Yeah.
we put an end to migration,
Mm.
and then you have very tight-fisted policy
Yeah.
in allowing whom to settle down, whom not to. Still, the Muslim population in Europe would continue to grow.
Yeah.
That's because of they have high fertility rates, high birth rates.
Yes.
These are also fears which is stoking the rise of right-wing politics in these countries.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Jaydev, the next question.
Yeah, sir. Going to a very different topic is with regards to the Mahadev app, booking app. And apparently, Saurabh Chandrakar, he met influential people in the UAE who were close to gangster Dawood Ibrahim's brother, Mushtaqeen Ibrahim Kaskar. And these people introduced him to Kaskar, who was impressed with the idea of betting platforms when he learned that Chandrakar and Uppal were making 200 crores per day from the Mahadev app and provide huge returns to India. Now, the developers who created the app were roped in to create a Kelo Yar app for Pakistan on similar lines. And the Kelo Yar app works in India, and transactions are mostly made using UPI, credit and debit cards, or net banking. Pakistani users need to have Pakistani numbers and bank details, and then they get the links to play and pay on the platform. So apparently, this Mahadev app is, every day some update or the other is coming from the ED. And now there's obvious links to Dawood Ibrahim and D Company, which is coming forth. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
A scam of this magnitude, Jaydev, would not have happened without some kind of a political collusion. Because it's your politicians who give this kind of some kind of a cover or support.
Yeah.
The question is, who are these politicians, and to which party these politicians
Yeah.
belong? And if you logically follow further, and which party is in require desperate need of funds
Yeah.
for elections? And if you look at the people who have already been arrested in Chhattisgarh, you have a lot of answers to what has happened. And Dubai, we all know, is a center of betting in everything from stocks to sports, whether it's a motor race or whether it's a Grand Prix or
Yeah. Yeah.
anything, from World Cup to even our IPL.
Yes.
There's so much of money involved, and Dubai is the place. Obviously, today, it's all the you don't today the criminals no longer look like the ones of the Bollywood movies
Yeah.
of the 80s or even
Yeah. You can't recognize it.
so they are
They just blend.
you have people more characters more from the 007 films. They live a good life and they want to perpetuate a good life.
Yeah.
And so obviously there is a much more to this Mahadev app. And I feel now that the Chhattisgarh elections are over, things are going to get more and more serious, no matter which party wins. Because the government, I feel, the Prime Minister Modi is very particularly keen. Things have to be gone to the root of the problem.
Hmm.
Now, I'm just giving you an example how ED is working these days.
Yes.
Take, for instance, what has happened in Tamil Nadu regarding sand mining.
Hmm.
After they issued notices to 10 collectors all along the districts along the Kaveri River,
Yes.
these collectors were told by the Water Resources Minister, that is Durai Murugan, who is number 2 in the DMK hierarchy, to move the Madras High Court and get a stay, because
Yeah.
ED issued summons to the collectors to come and tell them what is the permitted area of mining and what is the depth area involved and all that. Now, before they did that, they had done a technical study involving ISRO, involving National Remote Sensing Agency, involving IIT Kanpur. They looked at data and they have come to a shocking conclusion that more than 24 lakh units of sand mine have been mined illegally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And more than 4,000 crores have been earned, of which the state has got revenue of not more than 36 crore. So the point I am saying is, whether it is Mahadev app or illegal sand mining, huge sums of money are involved. Here, Enforcement Directorate used maps. They used even drones. and then compared with what is official thing. And people say the noose is tightening over Durai Murugan,
Mm.
because among the districts which have been covered include Velur, and he's a man from Velur. He
Yeah.
already, his family, his son is a member of parliament in Lok Sabha,
Yes.
and already his family is facing inquiry on the disproportionate assets. So you take anything where the ED is at work. Nowadays, they have to use a lot of technology. And of course, Madras High Court yesterday stayed those summons. They
Yeah.
did not stop the investigation.
Hmm.
But they said, look, no, you will have to establish first whether an offense has been committed, then go into what has happened to the proceeds of that offense or the crime, and whether money laundering of the proceeds have taken place.
Hmm.
On that ground, it has been stayed. Well, the next hearing will be December the 21st. But one thing is clear, that ED is using more and more scientific approach to get evidence. So a
Okay.
similar thing is happening in Mahadev, I am sure. And when the investigations come to final fruition, we are all going to be shocked of the people involved.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, with your assessment of the state elections that are happening, now who's going to form the government in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Telangana? Who will be the CM in Rajasthan? Will BJP choose Vasundhara again? And in MP, will it be Shivraj Singh Chauhan or someone else? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Rajasthan, I see it this way, that looks like Congress won't make it again.
Okay.
So it will be Bharatiya Janata Party.
Hmm.
Now the question, who will be CM?
Hmm.
If the BJP manages just about a simple majority,
Yes.
then I think the BJP central leadership would prefer Vasundhara Raje to be the chief minister.
Okay.
But if BJP gets a huge mandate,
Yeah.
which calls for a complete change,
Hmm.
then the BJP, the Prime Minister Modi or the Home Minister Amit Shah, then they may think of a new young leadership to take
Hmm.
charge. If
Okay.
the mandate is huge,
Okay.
the mandate is just borderline,
Hmm.
then they would rather prefer Vasundhara Raje, holds the reins at least till the Lok Sabha elections are over,
Okay.
because they need to have a good haul of seats like last time.
Yeah.
And Rajasthan has always voted, they never voted incumbent government. Second
Yes.
thing, when it comes to parliament elections, people who have voted Congress government, say in
Hmm.
2018, they voted for BJP. In
Yes.
2019, when it came to voting for the central government.
Yes.
So that is the scene in Rajasthan. Now, Madhya Pradesh, earlier it looked like Congress is going to have a cakewalk.
Hmm.
The cake is gone. The walk is longer than, yeah, I mean, it's longer than they were anticipated. And it looks like that BJP could have, managed to gain an upper hand in many constituencies, and they could win with just about a simple
Yeah.
majority. And I would not be surprised. In which case, again, Minaji, I would like to bring the same yardstick that I
Yeah.
said would be applied in Rajasthan.
Hmm.
If the mandate is huge
Yes.
for the BJP, then they would go in for a younger phase, because Shivraj Singh Chauhan has done I mean, he has done 4 terms. Therefore, they may prefer a newer leadership.
Yeah.
But if the majority is just about, I mean, it's a simple majority, just above the halfway mark, then you could see Shivraj being back in the saddle
Okay.
for his 5th term
Hmm.
until the Lok Sabha elections.
Okay.
Because the Lok Sabha elections, they would need some stability for a good haulage of parliamentary seats.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, as far as Chhattisgarh is concerned, I think still the Congress may have more number of seats than the BJP for reasons of organizational weakness, their decision to bring back Raman Singh, not
Yeah.
enough leadership. But still, I am told that BJP is definitely going to improve on the previous performance of 2018, where they only won 19 out of the 90 seats.
Yeah.
But this time it could be more, maybe close to 30. But
Okay.
still, the Congress would have an edge. Now,
Yeah.
coming to Telangana, I think nobody is expecting Congress to sweep the Telangana
Yeah.
elections, including congressmen.
Hmm.
So, what one can expect is KCR's party. First, it was TRS, then it became BRS. Their numbers could come down
Yeah.
compared to the previous. They had 96 or so, and they could probably come down to say uh, just about a simple majority, in which case there could be a lot of changes as to who would be the chief minister. My understanding is KCR would want his son KT Ramarao to become chief minister, and then he will rather take a sort of a political retirement, but work for an alternative to the Congress at the national level, which could be some tactical understanding with the BJP also. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
But definitely, I do not see Congress completely overturning KCR's party and capturing power in Telangana.
No.
Siraj.
So in case of a hung assembly in Telangana, will BJP support KCR?
Well, theoretically speaking, yes, that's a good possibility because their common enemy is the Congress.
Yes.
But in politics, things are not decided in that
Yeah.
way because the BJP would also expect some price, in
Yeah.
which case they may insist on neither KCR nor KTR should be chief ministers.
Yes.
Because so many things will come. Because
Yeah.
having fought KCR, BJP will also look at it. What will be the impact on the Lok Sabha elections, which are
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
going to be less than 6 months away.
Yeah.
So there
So
could be a lot of VA because already Congress is saying
uh,
that the B team of the TRS is aimed this Majlis,
hmm,
All India Majlis, AIMIM,
hmm.
and BJP. And
So
OVC says, look, somebody calls me B team of this, B team of that. Somebody says I'm Pakistan agent. But it's also strange, Meena ji. Despite overseas and his party's clout in Telangana,
hmm,
he is contesting only 8 seats,
uh,
and he has left out a lot of seats for KCR,
okay.
so that the anti-KCR votes are not divided and there are no problems.
Yeah. So, but there's something very dicey about KCR trying to have a sort of a city for IT Muslims only. You know, what is the big deal there?
Because the whole worry of these parties, whether it is Asauddin Owaisi or KCR, is this: that Congress should not repeat in Telangana what they succeeded in Karnataka,
Yeah.
which is completely taking away all the minority votes. Because the Karnataka success of the Congress is attributed to the Congress completely, getting the what 15% Muslim votes in Karnataka.
Yes. Yes.
So much so, the axe fell on JDS, Janata Dal Secular of the Devagowda, because they always had a combination of Okalinga and Muslim votes, which gave them, to play the role of a kingmaker. Best of situation, 30, 35 plus votes, but definitely not so badly as this time. This time they got
Yeah.
reduced to 19.
Yes.
Now, the fear of these parties, in fact, that fear of JDS in Karnataka today, which is willing to have an alliance with BJP in the Lok Sabha election, is this:
Yeah.
if the Muslims are going to tactically vote for the Congress, then they don't want to be caught up in a situation where
Yeah.
they'll be completely left out. And that is a
Yeah.
fear in Telangana also.
Yeah.
So all this, in fact, Congress came with a minority declaration,
Yeah.
promising 4,000 crore extra package for minorities.
Yes.
And KCR has been matching it because his fear is
Yeah.
if minorities vote start shifting to Congress,
Absolutely.
then it could sufficiently damage his party's numbers in the state assembly.
Yeah. Absolutely. So one last question, sir, before we close the session: will the government proceed on the national level case and jail Sonia and Rahul? You know, do you think?
No, the act of jailing would have. I mean, that would happen when, because one thing we must remember, there
Uh,
is already a case of penalty.
yes.
Income tax has imposed a penalty of almost close to 100 crores for having avoided taxes relating to this change of property. They have gained in capital, but they have not paid the capital gains tax, and their incomes. But where will they get 100 crores to pay? And that has, actually made them very edgy and very angry because they know if the Modi returns as prime minister, there is going to be no relief to them. And right now, you saw that more than 700 crore, almost close to 800 crore worth of property has been seized by ED. Now, the whole idea of changing the ownership of these National Herald, I mean, from AJL, from Congress party, and giving it to a new company of which only Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have 76% shares. Obviously, they wanted to completely leave the Congress party with no property, and the property will be with the family. The party baad mein jaye, property hamare saath hai. Because otherwise, how do you explain this thing happened? And they did it at a time, I don't know who counseled them, that nobody is going to stop them. So this is a kind of situation where because they are already out on bail. You see, the Supreme Court granted them bail both to Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi.
Yes, sir. So Meena lost her connection. So Once again, thank you, sir, for joining us, and taking your time out and, explaining the nuances of all the news, which is out there.
Thank you, Jaydev. Thank you very much.
Okay, see you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Thank you.